people get into this business expecting, everything to get handed to them, rainbows, butterflies, a beautiful picture, but it's tough. It's not easy. You got to really have tough skin. You have to really grind. You have to work hard. You have to put in hours, right? If you see that individual selling 20 million a year, he's putting in hours. And if you expect to reach that with subpar work ethic, it's never going to happen.
Hey, Jack Lehr here down at Lehr Podcast. So I met this gentleman a couple months ago. We became Facebook friends, and then, in the Facebook world, next thing you know, you think you know so much about that person, but then we connected for a phone conversation. So I'm super grateful that Michael Orta from Lebanon, Pennsylvania joined us today.
What's going on, everyone? Mike Orta. Again, I'm from Lebanon County, realtor at RE/MAX Cornerstone and team leader at the Michael Orta team.
So Michael's a little nervous today. We're going to have to get him out of his comfort zone. Yeah. And this guy has some beautiful energy, and I just want to make sure that you bring it today. Okay?
I'm going to try, my friend. I'm going to try.
Okay, now we're already friends.
That's right.
Love it.
I got the tequila under here, so yeah, give me a little bit.
What the hell is literally tequila in my office.
Do you? That could help. That could help.
Patron.
Brought to you by Justin Timberlake's 1800.
Ooh. Sponsorship.
We have a few of those out there.
Do we have those here?
I have them at my place.
Right.
Very good. Anyway.
It's a secret stash.
I love it. So you were a solo agent for about 4-ish years, got in the business about 5 years ago.
Correct. Yeah. So I was a solo agent approaching 4 years.
Okay.
Throughout that time, just to give you a little bit of a recap, since year one, I didn't sell anything for 6 months. It was a struggle.
As a solo agent?
Yes, correct. So I decided to join RE/MAX, very optimistic, high energy. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna kick ass. Can I say that here?
You can.
Okay, cool.
Yep, we're an explicit podcast. We have to mark that and check that off so we don't get kicked off.
All right, good. All right, no filters then.
No filters.
So 6 months into the business, I quickly realized it's not what you thought it would be. I'm a bilingual individual. A lot of people know me in the community. And when I got my license and I put it up on Facebook, I figured, I'm going to get bombarded with phone calls. No, there were crickets.
Really?
Yeah. You see, the thing is, I came from a entrepreneurship family previously.
Okay.
So I had a lot of sales experience, but I was never taught how to run a business. So as a realtor, I started my own business.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what prospecting was. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So I slowly started to educate myself on, how to properly show a property.
Okay.
I learned how to speak to people. I learned how to prospect. I learned how to do, most of the sales stuff.
Okay.
So then that way, when I'm showing a house, I'm not just letting them walk in and, hey, this is the kitchen. Those are the doorknobs. Like that.
The barrier to entry for real estate professionals, it's beautiful because it's amazing with these showings that take place and the feedback that we get.
Yeah.
When somebody's going and going, oh, Michael, this is the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah.
How many times... you hire a new buyer's agent or, they're out there doing showings for you. Next thing you know, you get a feedback. Yeah, they showed me where the master bedroom was and then also the bathroom and the kitchen and it's ridiculous, the feedback sometimes. Mm-hmm. So move along with your story. I apologize.
No, you're good. So again, it took me 6 months and I actually grew to the point of frustration where, if I didn't sell anything that year, I was going to quit. I ended up having my first sale the last week in December. So, since then, life has blessed me. So thank God I got that first sale.
Because you were ready to drop out.
100%, dude. Yeah. I was juggling a full-time job. I was doing real estate as a realtor full-time.
Okay.
I had, my son at the time, living with my parents, not where I wanted to be in life.
Not ideal.
And I felt like I was working so hard to not move forward per se. I was juggling 2 jobs and I was like, man, I'm spinning my wheels. I can't get a damn sale. What am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
So I got that first sale, and then, it just, I feel like that first sale really sparks the fire in you, per se. And I realized, wow, the sky's the limit here. I think, if I can do, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these a month, life would be great. And it would really make a difference for me.
It would, yeah.
Following that, 6-month dry spell, I ended up selling, I think like $3.1 million that first full year in the business.
Okay.
Second year, I forget. I think from there it was like 6, 8, and then 14 on my own at one point.
Wow.
That fourth year in the business is where I started to realize, okay, I can't do this all by myself. I'm sorry, third year in the business.
Third year, okay.
I didn't have an admin. I didn't have a TC. I didn't have any of that stuff.
So you were doing everything on your own?
Everything from start to finish. So that was the last year. I closed, I think, 81 deals on my own and just shy of 15 million in volume.
As an individual agent with no support?
Correct.
Or very limited?
No support.
No support.
No, I mean,
yeah.
At that point, it was approaching the fourth year of my career.
Okay.
And I started to realize, I can only do so much on my own. I started, experiencing this burnout effect that realtors go through. And I thought to myself, well, I had some new agents join my office. They're motivated individuals.
Mm-hmm.
I know them. I feel comfortable with them. Why don't I pitch to them this team idea? I kind of just told Josue, the first guy that joined my team. Shout out. He's here right now.
Yeah, Josue. I got to meet Josue.
That's right.
Correctly pronounced Josue.
Josue with a U. So Josue joined. Right away, I started to realize, wow, this is scalable. I mean, I could do more as long as I start delegating stuff. It was a little difficult to do right away because it wasn't what I was used to. I was used to doing everything on my own. I was used to having control. I didn't like, having too much help. But now it's come to the point where I'm like, hey, bud, I need all of this help. And I'm comfortable with that.
Okay.
But it did take time to get to that point. So, I started implementing this team idea with Josue. Followed by that, we had Little Sal join the team as well.
Met Little Sal today too.
That's right.
He's out of
Little
here.
Sal's here. Shout out Little Sal. I'd say about 2 months into having the team, I started to realize once again, I don't know what the fuck I was doing. It's very different going from an individual agent to being a team leader. So humbly telling myself, hey, I've worked in sales. I've been doing okay on my own, but I don't know how to structure a business.
Okay.
So I went and got help. So I reached out to a coach, started learning from her. Again, I love to give her a shout out.
You can.
Catherine Licato, thank you very much for your continued coaching help. She's great. She's amazing, good human being. I think, we definitely clicked on a personal level as well. So again, I'm a coachable individual. The way she teaches me, the tips and tricks, different point of views that she's showing me, hey, you used to doing everything on your own, but you can only do so much.
Right.
And you have these guys as a resource to utilize, so you have to utilize it.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, rather than working in the business, like I mentioned to you earlier, it's working on the business.
Getting that opportunity to step back, work on it so that you can grow your business.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. First year with the team, just kind of winging it. We did, I want to say 88 transactions and just shy of 17 million in volume as a proof of concept.
Yeah.
So, it was a good first year, I'd say.
I think so.
So now here we are, 2023, just kind of analyzing what we did last year, seeing what we can fine tune, what we can better ourselves in, and then, just setting the bar higher now.
So you mentioned something about like just doing it. And that's one of the things. So I just had somebody that we were interviewing and they've read every Dagburn book when it comes to real estate investing.
Right.
They've done all these things, but over a year and a half of no implementation. And, some people talk about the law of attraction and they don't act upon it or whatever works for you, but you acted upon it and then you make adjustments. And seeking a coach or somebody that you can respect what they're about and then help support you, that probably make a big difference.
Massive difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just to quickly touch on the investing part, I bought my first rental property when I was 18 years old. And again, I didn't know what I was doing. It was more or less just going in there head first and figuring it out. It was, tough lessons to go through because I was an 18-year-old. You get a $700 check. You're like, wow, look at that. I made $700. Then taxes came. Then insurance came.
Yeah.
Then fixtures came. And I quickly realized it was not a lot of money. So I kind of went in there just not knowing what I was doing. But, now I'm acquiring more rental units. I have my first flip coming up in 2 weeks.
Great.
So I'm learning that end of the business. But I feel like it would have never happened if I just took the initiative and just went for it.
Yeah. It's making those adjustments. And again, so many people do not do.
Right. Agreed.
I know somebody that are educated beyond belief.
Yeah.
They know way more than I have ever learned, but they do nothing with it.
Right.
And when you're 18 and you take that initiative and go and do that, that is one of the best schooling opportunities ever.
Agreed.
And sometimes when you lose your ass or you don't make the money you thought you were going to make, that's an even better lesson.
It is.
It helps you make the adjustments.
Agreed. Yeah.
So that first investment property has led to additional investments.
Correct. Yeah. Right before COVID, I did sell everything. So now I'm just more or less in the rebuilding phase.
Okay.
I have good partners around me, good resources. So scalability is going to be much easier now that, I have a little better of an idea of how to do the business and have the right people around me to do it with.
I think it's pretty neat when we met, or when you introduced me to Josue and little Sal.
Yep.
I think the thing that I saw just in that little bit of interaction is that there's some belief in you.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Especially when I'm buying lunch. That's coming later.
but I also think it's both ways.
Right. 100%. I agree. I've always had this idea in my head of building something since day one. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what that something was. But I think now that picture's starting to be a little more clear for me. I think the team is doing great. My guys are hustling. I'm hustling. I'm trying to keep up with them at this point. But no, I'm glad I took the initiative to do that. I was very hesitant because it was all new to me.
Yeah.
But, I don't regret it at all. I got good dudes around me, and that's really all I care about.
So now you have two sales professionals alongside of you as teammates.
Yep.
When you look at your business and stepping back and working on it, what position is your next hire?
Oof, good one. Well, we did have an admin for a period of time.
Okay.
That would be a nice position to fill again.
Mm-hmm.
An ISA would be great. We have a lot of leads that get, brought into the business. Mm-hmm. Again, my coach taught me how to analyze all those numbers and that stuff. So 74% of our business is organic. We don't spend too much on ads. We don't spend too much on like Zillow, lead gen, any of that stuff. We have a lot of organic reach in the community.
Okay.
So, that's something I think we're really going to try and focus on this year is just to provide more value to our organic sphere so we can continue to get more referrals and repeat clients.
What do you think is the easiest way to grow your business? I'm not doing a trick question. I'm just asking.
That's fine. In what part?
Just growing your business. Like
overall?
With the, you can go out and buy Zillow leads, Realtor.com. You can do online portals. You can do organic reach, social media.
Yeah. Ooh, I think it's a mixture of all of that, especially if you're a new agent. But I think the biggest foundation you should have is social media.
Okay.
When I started, I didn't know I was doing social media per se. I was just posting stuff on Facebook and being consistent with it. I started to realize, wow, I started getting followers. I started getting more organic reach. Once again, through social media, more DMs, more direct contact. And I'd say 2 years into the business, I never bought Zillow leads. Mm-hmm. It was just more or less, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do on Facebook. Let me know if I can provide any value to you. And that led to business.
Yeah.
So I think social media is extremely important. And then adding those auxiliary tools such as, Zillow, other lead gen sources, I think that'll really help you diversify your business then.
That's great. And maybe just, you're talking about the word organic.
Yep.
It's a lot of your sphere.
Correct. Yes.
Like people inside of your world.
Yep.
And, I'll share an idea that's helped us a ton because we were mostly all online portal and just converting at a very high level.
Yeah.
And at a time, we were just, I'll use the word a machine doing a lot of transactions and not giving enough thought to our past clients and sphere, which is like one of the biggest no-nos.
No, bro. And I'm with you. I started implementing that a few months ago.
Okay.
And again, my coach said, hey, you've done, I don't know, what is it, like 250 deals in your career so far? Those are 250 people that could potentially refer you someone, resell their house, etc.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything with them. You're not nurturing them. You're not sending them direct mail, happy birthdays, just random calls here and there. It completely went over my head, honestly. But, that was like, oh, wow, it's a missed opportunity. But, that's something we're all we're beginning to implement.
Good. Because there's a calculation that you can do to figure out what that value of a past client can be of additional business, not just with them, but the introductions in the real estate, what they call them referrals.
Right.
But that introduction is way more powerful when I say, hey, Michael, who do you know that's looking to buy, sell, or maybe curious about what's going on in today's market? And you say, oh my gosh, I know Sally over here is looking to do this.
Yep.
Michael, would you be so kind to send a mutual text and do an introduction for us versus asking for that name?
Right.
It's way more powerful.
Agreed.
And then so we take that serious now and realize that there's a lot of money in your database with past clients and also past leads and just really putting a lot of energy and effort. So, here's the beautiful part about when we have these podcasts is that I hear what someone's doing and then I realize, hey, maybe there's something that we can share to help. But I learned so much from, it reinforces some stuff for me.
Right.
And quite frankly, I'm being selfish because this really helps me.
Oh, okay. Well, great.
This is only about me. This isn't for anybody out there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, go with a helpful mindset to help others. So
I'm with you.
I love it that you're working on the business. Have you considered like a transaction coordinator, or do you get that benefit from your brokerage?
So I took the initiative to add a transaction coordinator on my behalf. I work for, again, Remax Cornerstone, but I treat myself like a business within the company. So if I need to hire a TC, if I need to hire an admin, just to help support the guys, the team, an ISA, just to help, keep up with the lead volume.
Yeah.
That's something I'm going to do for the team because it's the business we came together to create. I'm not one to rely much on other people outside of the business. So if the guys need something, that's all. We'll get the group huddle together, talk about it, and figure it out.
So when you brought on Josue,
yep,
and brought him into the business together to grow a team, was it difficult to put trust in him because you were used to doing everything on your own? Plus, you had family that were entrepreneurial that did a lot on their own, from what you shared with me.
Right. So. I'll go back on the entrepreneurial family stuff. Yeah. My mom had her own beauty salon.
Okay.
My stepfather still has a furniture store that I grew up working in, 40, 60-hour weeks at a young age.
Nice.
And then my father is out in the Bronx. I was born and raised in the Bronx.
Okay.
And he still has his liquor store out there. So again, entrepreneurs, definitely different kind of businesses all over the place, but each one of them never hired anyone. Right. It was always like part-time help here and there. So they've never been able to scale their business at a high level.
That's the key there.
Right. Yeah. So I picked up bad habits from that. Hence why it took me so long to ask for help. It took me a long time to get a TC. It took me a long time to, say, hey guys, let's make a team here. So I picked up some bad habits. Hence, again, this all correlates with saying, hey, I need coaching. Maybe it's time to do this, that. But now moving into just the trust part, it's something I had to quickly get over is what it was. I'm not comfortable asking for help. I think, no, I'm the only one that can do it right. I have to get over that.
we all feel like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But no, Josue does a great job. If I give him something, he works just as hard as I do. Again, he comes from an entrepreneurial family. He knows how to take the initiative, how to, just kick ass in a sense.
Yeah.
So if I give him something, I know he's going to do great in it. And I put all my faith in him. He's doing good.
That's great that you're doing that, because that's very difficult to put that trust out there.
Yes.
I had a young man who joined our team many, many years ago when we started our business, and built him up to one of the top probably ever in the U.S.
Wow.
A lot of transactions.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, he came to me when we started doing some decent production, and he said,
right.
How can I go next level? I said, well, do you remember when I used to give you my leads?
Mm-hmm.
I trusted you with them. Even though I thought I was the only one that could handle them,
Mm-hmm.
I trusted you with them.
Right.
So now it's time to bring somebody on and build that trust.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that they're going to screw up, make mistakes.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's hard to put that trust out there, but it's beautiful that you're doing that with Josue and now little Sal.
Absolutely.
And there's going to be some additional ones joining your team.
That's the game plan. Yeah, we want to scale. We have a big vision. We don't want to settle for just minimal goals. We want to try and keep setting the bar higher every year. So with that comes hiring. We need more help. We need more buyer's agents. We just need more men on the ground to, help us kick ass at it.
Good deal. So you're over in Lebanon, and
Yep.
you want to grow your business. And this is
Yes.
one of those little things where if you're in Lebanon area and you are seeking incredible guidance and somebody that truly cares, like reaching out to Michael and having a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a discovery conversation, see if you're a good fit or not, because there's plenty that aren't.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I keep it 100. If it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. But, I meet with a lot of realtors outside of my brokerage, people, wanting to get their license. I meet with everyone. I think networking is very important. I remember when I started, I didn't have a ton of help because I didn't ask for it. But I wish I had that one individual that I can go for just, resources.
Yeah.
So I try and give that back to new agents, whether it's at my office or not, because it was a painful time, man. 6 months of hard work, not selling shit. That's tough.
And then all that stuff that's creeping into your lid.
Oh, absolutely, man.
It's hard to have neutral thoughts when you're thinking,
oh yeah,
if I don't sell one by X, I'm leaving the industry. And you were telling yourself, and you were telling yourself that story.
I was committed.
And you were believing it.
Mm-hmm. I was.
Yeah.
I was.
You were this close to being out of the industry. And this industry is losing them at 90% within the first 5 years, and many way quicker.
Oh yeah.
And statistics shows that. But the interesting thing is that I see most of them out way before that. They just pay to stay in it.
Correct. And we want to avoid that. No.
I'm not saying you, but...
Right. No, I get it. I understand your point of view. People get into this business expecting, everything to get handed to them. Rainbows, butterflies, a beautiful picture. But it's tough. It's not easy. You got to really have tough skin. You have to really grind. You have to work hard. You have to put in hours. Right? If you see that individual selling $20 million a year, he's putting in hours. And if you expect to reach that with subpar work ethic, it's never going to happen.
It is quite remarkable to see people that come and interview with us and say, well, I'm going to be like X on your team. I'm going to be like that person on your team that sold 88 houses last year as an individual, like on our team, support. And they're like, I can definitely do that. I can appreciate it, but I just really don't even want to effing hear it, because there's a lot of stuff that happened between the time they entered our team until now.
Right.
And I love that you want to go compete, but like actions.
Agreed.
The words are bullshit.
Agreed. You got to take the initiative.
Yeah.
You can't just sit here and yap. You got to work, bud.
Exactly. So who is that like avatar agent, sales professional that you would want on your team?
Man, if I can duplicate one of each of these guys, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Well, like, what's the,
so
do they have to have a name that's difficult to pronounce?
It's always a plus.
No sway. I'm picking on you, brother.
I love it.
Right. No, honestly, I think just work ethic, man. I love being around work ethic. I love being around individuals that, aren't afraid of putting in the hours. what's the saying? What you surround yourself with is what you become. So
it's proximity.
It is. So I don't want to be around, Debbie Downers, guys that bitch about working 40, 60, 100 hours a week.
Making calls.
Right. Oh, God forbid. I want to be around guys that don't mind putting in the hours, man. I think, we get to vibe off of each other and just hold each other accountable too, because, we can put in all the hours we want. It's tough at times. So having someone that you can do it with, it definitely helps.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. There's days when your day is pretty shitty.
Agreed.
I mean, if the average human being has 1 out of every 3 days having a difficult day, whether it's, a mental illness or just having just a bad day and not having somebody to lean on to help them through that makes it difficult.
It's very challenging.
And that's why like the world of real estate is really, it's going towards the team versus the individual agent.
I agree. I spoke to my broker the other day. That's exactly what I told him. I think, the traditional model is challenging to sustain long term. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to start seeing more teams come up. I think the individual agent is great. But you get to do more when you are in groups. You get more reach, you get more hours in the day. You get more work ethic essentially. Yeah. I know a lot of successful single agents, not to take away anything from them by any means, so don't attack me. But what I'm saying is, if I got 10 hardworking agents on my team, we're going to outwork you. That's all.
Well, I'm a big believer iron sharpens iron. And this is for men and women alike. This doesn't matter what your gender is.
Yeah.
But it's about sharpening each other and helping each other grow. Mm-hmm. And, 1 equals 1, but 2 can equal 4 and 5. Because when you can lean on your teammate and leverage one another.
Agreed.
My goodness, the worst thing that I hear quite often when somebody was working with a solo agent. And again, I have some great solo agent teammates or friends in this world that are killing it.
Yep. Same here.
A lot of times they'll have a TC or a transaction coordinator or admin person, maybe a showing agent. They're not like a big team, but they'll have somebody alongside of them to really do it. But hearing, well, I can't show you that home because I'm on vacation this week. Mm-hmm. Holy moly. The amount of opportunities that get created for other teammates.
Agreed.
Like we're a Zillow Flex team. We get to hear those conversations. Hey, why are you on Zillow? Oh, I have an agent. Great. Mm-hmm. Well, they can't show it to me for another week. Because they're on vacation.
Ouch. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a tough conversation, huh?
I mean, it becomes quite easy because most of them don't have buyer agency agreements.
Correct.
Yeah. They have a relationship. So that easily gets broken when they have the I want it now mentality, which is what we're faced with.
Agreed.
And they go to this portal that it's a Realtor.com, a Zillow, any other IDX site. And next thing you know, they're working with somebody else because they were able to be helped now.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. So the way we have our Zillow stuff set up is we all get pinged at the same time.
Beautiful.
Right? Because it's first one to pick up the phone is who they're going to go with, usually. So again, we just want to be efficient and quick on it. So we don't miss opportunities like that. At first, we had a round robin, but we're busy. So if we can't answer it, that's a missed call. So if we can reduce that, we can all work collectively as a team and just take care of this person right away or as quick as possible, then that, we're going to turn over a lot faster.
So something that we talked about and that I saw like a month or two ago was this post. And I mean, you're going to give credit to somebody in the audience, but there's this,
I know where you're going.
There's this billboard that popped up and I was like, holy shit, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I saw it right away. I screenshot, sent it over to you. I'm like,
yeah. Good stuff, man. Yeah. Good stuff. So, honestly, I can't take any credit for that.
Let's talk about that.
We will. This little Sal approached me one day and said, hey, man, why don't we do a team billboard? I was like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. Let's do it. I said, hey, bring me an idea. Go, figure it out. Show me what you got. So he sent me a template. Okay. So at the bottom, it says, hey, we're the #1 team in the world. And in quotations, it says, according to our mothers. So I thought it was brilliant.
Loved it.
I was like, dude, we got to go with that. That's dope.
Because it's not offensive to anybody.
Not at all.
There's a bunch of humor.
It is.
It gets your name out there.
Yep.
And you did a 7-month commitment.
We did. Yep. No, we believed in it, man. It was great. Good idea.
Do you get anybody calling from it yet?
We get a lot of compliments. I think just brand recognition is what I go for these billboards. If someone calls me and says, hey, I want to list my house because of your billboard. It's not our goal. I just want to be in front of as many people as possible. Because again, that leads to referrals. Maybe that does, direct contact, more followers on social media.
Yeah.
I just want to be in front of people. So that was the purpose of the billboard and humor.
I love it. And there's a commitment to that because it's, I'm not going to guesstimate the amount, but I'm very familiar with those costs.
Yep.
And there's a financial commitment.
It is.
And it's just like anything. There's lots of times when agents that I help and mentor, and they call me and they're like, Jack, I really want to do this. And I'm going to try it for 2 months. I'm going, let's just not even do it.
Right.
A minimum 6 months commitment to make sure that it's going to truly, because there's a lot of things that come alongside of any type of thing you're going to try.
Right.
Are you screwing up on your conversations? Are you screwing up on not following up properly? So there's a lot of things that go alongside that. And that's 7-month commitment on your part. And you probably already got 1 or 2 listings off of it.
Possibly. I mean,
well, they said they saw it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And, real estate's not short term. So if you want to do something for like a week, month, 2 months, just don't do it. Like you said, man, it's a long-term commitment. I mean, I've been in the business for 5 years and I'm still trying to fine tune the business. But I'm in it for the long run. So, a couple months here and there to commit to something just doesn't make sense.
I'll just give you a quick example. I've shared this with other folks in our masterminds, but as a real estate investor, did post it on Craigslist for almost 10 years straight and can count on 2 hands how many days I missed. I'd get up early, post it. And the amount of opportunities, homes we bought and sold off of Craigslist.
Wow.
I haven't posted there in a long time, but consistent for 10 years. Bought and sold a shit ton of homes.
Interesting.
Because of staying consistent.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned consistency a bunch, or at least a couple times during our conversation.
Yeah, once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice. It's being consistent.
Yeah, I agree.
So the social media side of it, when you're posting, are you doing all like, hey, I sold this house and,
I was. I'll be honest with you, I was, but we're definitely trying to, again, diversify the content, right? I mean, it's great, we're hitting these milestones, but, people want the value. And me telling them, hey, I sold a house today, this volume, this, and that, that's not value to the consumer. So we're trying to do more value-based posts. We're trying to scale our videography and that kind of stuff.
Great.
Just home tours. We're trying to, really diversify the content just to keep it fresh, keep it new. People are going to get bored if they just keep seeing my numbers. It's not that, I think it's cool. My mom thinks it's cool, but
most of those things are for other realtors and for our own egos.
Yeah, I agree.
It's amazing the number of posts that I see from other licensed real estate professionals that have derogatory speak towards renters. So let's think about this.
Yeah.
There's either 2 types of buyers and sellers in this world. There's a homeowner and there's a renter.
Yep.
And we pigeonhole them into buyers and sellers. And there's just so many opportunities when you actually take the approach that they're either a homeowner or a renter. Because that homeowner can be a seller and a buyer, and that renter could be a buyer as well.
Agreed.
But the amount of social media posts that I see that put a negative connotation towards a renter, like they tell them that they're stupid for renting. Do you see that at all?
Yeah, you can't. I do, and unfortunately, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
I rented. But it depends per case scenario. You know what I mean? Maybe that individual could only rent. But I had, 150 inquiries about my last rental property, right?
Okay.
So I probably toured about 25 people through the rental, but each one I gave value to. I said, hey, I know you're renting right now, but have you ever considered buying a house? Well, yeah, we would love to buy a house. We just can't. Well, why not? Well, I don't know. Don't you need 20% down payment?
There you go.
No, not at all. Really? And then their eyes just light up. It's just about providing value. I think people utilize the internet to get whatever information they can, which again, I'm guilty. But there's a lot of misinformation out there. So again, providing that value to those consumers is a golden nugget. And I do that with everyone that walks through my rentals when they're looking. And again, I'm there to rent my property. I'm there telling them to buy a house because it makes sense.
Yeah. If it makes sense for them. Again, there's going to be people who will rent regardless because they could be transient. They could just be like, I don't only want to rent. I don't want the responsibility of ownership.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Let's not beat them down.
No.
Because here's the other part that we forget is that they actually know other people that want to buy or sell that can introduce you. And when we put derogatory posts that are only for the feeding of egos of other realtors, they go, oh my gosh. Like we're in the Tom Ferry network and man, there's some great folks there and there's some people that just, wow, it just blows me away. And I see the posts and they're like, everybody's chiming in. Well, not everybody, but there's a lot of people chiming in saying how great of a post that was. Well, that post was for the realtors. Mm-hmm. If that's what you're trying to do, if you're trying to just defend your buyers and sellers or homeowners and renters, you're doing a beautiful job.
Agreed.
So we see a lot of that.
Yeah.
But when you're posting, people want to see you being human.
Yes.
So I've seen some human aspects of you on social media.
I try and, I put myself out there, a little vulnerable you can be. But I feel like keeping it authentic on social media can lead to a better interaction when you meet someone in person. Yeah. Especially a first time buyer or whatever, a consumer, let's say. I had an instance where I was in the office, just, working. And then one of our lenders said, hey, there's someone here to meet you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Didn't know who it was. So I came downstairs and it was a very interesting interaction. I mean, I've never met this person before, but they were excited to see me. And that was odd. I'm never used to that stuff. I'm an introvert. I like to keep to myself. So when I walk down the steps and someone's like, oh my God, you're Michael, threw me off. Needless to say. But, she said, I've been following you since you started your career. And I was about almost 3 years into my career at the time. And she wanted me to be her buyer's agent. Yeah. So I thought that was a really neat moment. And it just really goes to show how powerful social media is. I mean, she went there expecting to meet me as a person. She knew who I was. Yeah. She knew the struggles. She knew the wins. She says, hey, I want you to be my realtor. So that meant a lot.
That's beautiful. And that's the thing that we talk about because naturally an introvert, didn't want to do any of this stuff.
Yourself, you mean?
Zero of this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Zero. I wanted to stay back. Like I have 4 sons, my wife and I'd rather just sit on our farm and watch a Netflix movie and just hang out and not do any of this.
Same here.
But the thing is, like, if you go with the mentality of helping others and stepping into your power and understanding what that looks like, then you can be way more helpful to others.
Right.
And when you step into that power, I just think it becomes a beautiful thing because here's what happens. Just like that buyer came downstairs and recognized you, or you came down and they recognized you. Yep. We do this type of stuff and somebody goes, like I'm at a Tom Ferry conference or a brokerage conference or just anything that we participate in. And they come and they go, oh my gosh, Jack, I love the way you celebrate your teammates. Or I love this. And they know me and I'm going,
yep.
And I don't want to be offensive because I'm super grateful. They've never ever made a comment on any of this stuff. They've never liked anything. And then they go, I've watched all your podcasts. And I'm like,
sure you have. Sure you have.
I mean, maybe they have, right. I don't know. But regardless, it's pretty, it does make you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm helping some people here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, again, that's why we want to scale that part of the business. Yeah. I just want to give back, especially to our community. I've lived there for like 20 years of my life. It means a lot to me. That's hence why I invest into the community. I have other, shout out Noah. Noah invests into our community. He's a good friend of mine. Okay. We both started our career, if you would, together. Him as an investor, me as a realtor. And, we've brought value to the community. We tell each other this every day. My first listing was in Lebanon City. It sat on the market for $85,000. An average sale up there now, easily minimum 130. So the appreciation's been drastic, but that comes with all the investors coming into our community, doing all these flips, all these rehabs.
Yeah.
Value goes up. And, that's what we're trying to bring to the community is value.
Love it. I think I saw something that you're Serhant certified.
I am, yes.
What is that?
So during the pandemic, I was, at home, locked up, bored.
Like a few other people.
Right. So what I quickly said to myself, all right, I can't just be at home and, not do shit.
Yeah.
So at the time, I looked up to Ryan Serhant. This guy was like my superhero and my idol. And I was like, wow, this dude's in New York. He's selling $1 million houses. He's the GOAT, right? So during that time, he released courses.
Yeah.
So, I was stuck at home. I wasn't doing anything. So I just went through all of his courses, I think within like two weeks or something like that. And then, he sent me a certificate and all that stuff. Serhant certified. I took his courses during the pandemic and I learned a lot from them, actually. I think it helped me more as a solo agent during the pandemic so that when we were ready to go back to work, I was ready to go back to work. I was ready to implement that $1 million service that he does in New York in Lebanon City. And, then I had a good year.
Yeah. I saw him speak probably October-ish of 2022. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I always liked about Ryan Serhant is that why would you wear another person's logo on your own clothing?
Makes sense.
You are your brand.
Yep.
And that's the thing. A lot of people get caught up in their brokerage or whatever as their brand, and that's not their brand. You just want to, come on, guys. Understand that you are the brand.
Yeah.
Build your brand. Build yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I started, I thought like that right away. I said to myself, I'm my own brand. I have to market myself. Mm-hmm. And then people are giving me backlash. Hey, you shouldn't market like that. Hey, you got to market the brokerage as well. Hey, you got to do this, do that, do this, do that. So
you can be in compliance and still build your own brand.
100%.
Just like your teammates, they can still build a brand and you can help build them.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I encourage them to do videos, photos, do your stories like now, do all that stuff. Because again, that just helps you build your brand, helps you, gain more outreach to your sphere or whatever. But yeah, I had a lot of backlash in the beginning. Now we quickly realize it paid off because we have a lot of reach on social, well, not a lot, but we have some reach on social media and we're just trying to grow it.
It's interesting that when you first started and you start getting on social media, there's the potential beat down. Oh, what the hell is he doing there? Mm-hmm. And then you stay consistent with the message and don't, there's a lot of tomfoolery and foolishness that goes on out there in social media. If that's what you're about, stay consistent with that. That's obviously not what you're about, but you stay consistent with your message. And then when you show up, that trust has already been built, just like you explained with the person that you met. And oh my gosh, you're super excited to meet you. Because you're consistent. Yep. And maybe you don't have the energy on social media posts or like we have here with lots of energy flying, but there's this human that shows up.
Yes.
The trust is already built.
Yep.
You don't have to sell yourself.
No. I gained their trust because, they've been following me for so long.
Yeah.
They have an expectation on who should walk down those steps. And again, I am myself. I don't put up a persona. I'm this mellowed out introvert. So, hey, nice to meet you. That's all you get.
That's it.
And it worked.
So the clientele that you guys are working with.
Yes.
Pretty heavy in the Latino market.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think where that came from, I'd probably have to give a lot of credit to the family furniture store.
Okay.
I worked there since I was 11, 12 years old. And I left when I was 21, 22.
Okay.
I realized that I've been networking for 10 years. You know what I mean? I did a lot of sales in the furniture store. I did a lot of deliveries. I took, payments. I did everything. I ran the business essentially. And I met hundreds, if not thousands, of Hispanic families in that furniture store. And as soon as, I started picking up on social media, people started reaching out to me.
They recognize you.
Exactly. And it was people that I knew. When I went to show them a house, hey, you did a delivery for me 7 years ago.
When you were 11.
Yeah, when you had the bowl cut. So, it's a lot of networking from those past clients as well. Okay. And then, if 1,000 people refer you, that's 2,000 people. So that grows very, very quickly. I think Josue and Sal here, they have their own, sphere that they have started to tap into as well. And they're quickly realizing, wow, this referral business is no joke.
Do you realize that everybody you meet is either a homeowner or a renter, which could be led down to become a potential client?
Absolutely.
And most people, especially realtors, they don't realize that. Mm-hmm. They're looking for that buyer or seller that really, there's very few of those that are ready to go right now.
Yeah, no, but that's where the nurture plan comes into play.
Yeah.
You got to create that relationship. You have to gain that trust. You have to win their business in a sense. You can't just say, hey, I'm a realtor. Use me. No, that's not how you do it.
Exactly. Because how many people in your world before you became licensed did you know that were realtors or had their license? Doesn't everybody know 30 or 40 or maybe 100 of them or at least 7?
Our county's Lebanon City's pretty small. Yeah. We have 120 something active listings right now, some of which are new builds. Okay. So it's just there's not a lot. Not a few realtors, but there's definitely a lot of realtors that have made a name for themselves. Growing up, I knew of the foundational big dogs in our community. And I joined the office where most of those big dogs work at. So the bar has been set high for me since I started. And God bless, last 2 years I finished number 1 in the office.
Yeah.
But man, that's with, competition. There's a lot of hard workers there.
So think about those folks that were in the industry and they were the big dogs that didn't adapt to technology, don't know what a CRM is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with technology, a lot of those big dogs have fallen by the wayside. Mm-hmm. I've noticed it in different markets that we're in where there's some names I'm like, wow, that's a fraction of where they used to be. Mm-hmm. They were always number 1, number 2, number 3 in the market, and they're nowhere to be found right now.
Agreed.
And by the way, they're still in the industry.
No, absolutely. But you have to adapt or you're going to be left behind. Yeah. You created a great foundation. And I'm speaking for the veterans. You created a great foundation, but if you're not adapting, those young guys that are on TikTok, getting views, getting eyes on them are going to start, they're going to start picking up. It sounds, foolish in their head because they're they're just doing stupid dances in a house. Yeah. But, those are 1 million people watching them.
Stupid dances in a house.
Yep.
We've seen a few of those.
Well, I have. I've yet to partake in that, though. So
you don't necessarily need to do the dance, by the way.
No, not at all.
But you can be consistent with a message that
absolutely
that appeals to your audience. And I'm a big believer that if you go after all of the market, you'll get 0 of the market. Mm-hmm. You gotta hone in on what you want. Right. Your avatar client, your avatar sales professional that wants to join your team, because you just don't want anybody.
No. And again, I haven't made an active effort to hire people because I'm particular. I'm picky, and again, I'm number 1, I'm scared of what may happen. I don't know. But the plan is to scale. So I have to start narrowing down who is a right fit for us. Mm-hmm. I have to ask the questions on, personality, work ethic, X, Y, and Z. And again, I still don't know. That's why I can't think of any questions, but I do want to scale and I do want to grow. I just need to figure out, what I'm looking for in a partner per se.
Well, I think you have a couple decent partners sitting out here.
100%.
Right? Yeah,
absolutely.
That's beautiful. Anything else you want to share? You're growing your business. Mm-hmm. If you found that right individual, would you have space available to join your team?
Absolutely. Like I said, I meet people very often. But I think I'll have to begin making an active effort on the hiring process. It's just not something that I've done. I mean, we've been busy.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure it out. So there's a lot of growing pains in the business. Hiring is just going to have to be one of those things we overcome and we figure out.
Start putting some thought into that. Defining that avatar human that you want on your team that's going to help others and help you grow your business while you're helping them grow their business.
Right.
Okay.
I will. I'll do that.
Do you have any questions for me?
Dude, thanks for having me. I don't know. This is all new to me. I hope I did okay.
Those weren't questions yet. Those were comments.
I know. Compliments now. I'm just trying to compliment you, bro.
I love it.
I'm waiting for the tequila you said.
Okay, very good. Maybe Sarah has that chilling for us.
There we go. I'm with it.
Well, Michael, I'm super grateful that you came here today to York, Pennsylvania, all the way from Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, in Lebanon, PA,
oh,
Lebanon, Bologna.
I knew it.
New Year's Eve. What do they drop when it becomes New Year's Eve?
They drop a bologna.
A Lebanon sweet bologna?
They do. I don't partake in that. But, we have a lot of loyal bologna lovers. So you can't disrespect the bologna, man.
I'm not. No disrespect to Lebanon. So, again, super grateful that you joined us
Appreciate
here today.
It, brother. Thank you.
Hey, Jack Lehr here. If this helped you, like, subscribe, share, make your day great, and super grateful for Michael Orta today.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me. Peace.
Good stuff, brother.
Thanks, Ed.
Good stuff.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.